What if I told you that right now, as you watch this video, your data is traveling through a garden hose at the bottom of the ocean? And what if I told you someone's listening? The Invisible Empire. Forget everything you know about the cloud, your Instagram stories, your crypto trades, your late-night messages. They're not floating in space. They're racing through hair-thin glass fibers buried in the darkest, coldest places on Earth. Right now, 99% of all international internet traffic moves through undersea cables. Not satellites, not Wi-Fi magic, physical, fragile cables. We're talking about 570 active cable systems, over 1 million kilometers of fiber optics. That's enough to wrap around Earth 25 times. These cables are thinner than your thumb for most of their length. Yet they carry 200 plus terabytes per second. That's every Netflix show, every Zoom call, every bank transfer on the planet. Here's where it gets weird. Every 50 to 80 kilometers along these cables, there's a repeater, basically an underwater amplifier that screams your data across oceans at light speed. These things run for 20,000 plus kilometers, from New Jersey to France, Singapore to California, and they work in complete darkness under crushing pressure for 25 years straight. But here's what they don't tell you. This entire system, the backbone of human civilization, is owned by just a handful of companies, and every major government is either watching it, protecting it, or planning to destroy it. The takeover. 10 years ago, telecom companies ran the underwater internet. Today, big tech owns the ocean. Google has stakes in 33 submarine cables. Meta is building a 45,000-kilometer beast called To Africa that literally circles an entire continent. Microsoft and Amazon aren't far behind. Together, these 4 companies control over half of all international bandwidth. On some routes, they push 71% of total traffic. Think about it. 4 companies, half the world's internet capacity, under the ocean, where no one's watching? They're not leasing anymore, they're buying the infrastructure. Google's Dunant cable shoots data from Virginia to France. Meta's cables wrap around Africa like digital tentacles. They're building their own private highways under international waters, and there's literally nothing stopping them. But ownership is just the beginning. The real game? It's about who's listening. Operation Deep Dive. 1970s peak Cold War. The US Navy sends submarines into Soviet waters, not to fire torpedoes, to tap phone lines. Operation Ivy Bells. American divers literally attached recording devices to Soviet military cables on the ocean floor. For years, the NSA listened to every Soviet naval communication through an underwater wiretap. Think that stopped? Meet TEMPORA, British intelligence's crown jewel. Leaked documents revealed that GCHQ attached intercept probes to transatlantic cables as they hit UK shores. We're talking about 200 plus fiber optic cables, collecting 21 petabytes of data per day. That's every email, every search, every message between America and Europe. Cable operators were in on it, bound by gag orders, running intercept partner teams. In San Francisco, there's a room 641A, AT&T's secret. Inside, a fiber splitter copied all backbone traffic straight to NSA hardware, a literal prism splitting light. One beam to you, one beam to them. And we're just talking about what got leaked. Right now, the USS Jimmy Carter, a modified submarine with a flooding chamber for divers, patrols the ocean. Its job? Classified. Its capability? Tapping any cable, anywhere. Russia has the Yantar, a research vessel with mini-subs and robotic arms. It's been caught hovering over NATO cables, just researching. China's building the cables themselves now. HMN Tech lays 18% of new cables globally. When you build the pipe, you don't need to tap it. You already control it. The cutting edge. Most cable breaks are accidents, ship anchors, fishing nets, earthquakes, about 150 breaks per year, usually fixed in days. But sometimes… June 2022, the AAE-1 cable snaps in the Red Sea. Ethiopia loses 90% of its internet. Somalia drops to 15% capacity. Millions offline in seconds. Google, Amazon, Microsoft services, dark. 2013 Egypt. Coast Guard catches 3 divers underwater, sawing through the Simi We4 cable with hand tools. They'd already cut halfway through before getting caught. Motive? Unknown. Message? Clear. Late 2022, things get darker. A cable to Norway's Svalbard satellite facility mysteriously severed. 2 Baltic Sea cables cut the same week as the Nord Stream pipeline explosion. Swedish officials call it sabotage. NATO creates an emergency response team. The Royal Navy starts hunting Russian research ships. Here's what keeps security experts awake. Somalia 2017. 1 cable cut, country offline for 23 days. Cost? $10 million per day. Tonga 2022. Volcanic eruption breaks their only cable. Total isolation for weeks. No calls, no internet, nothing. Now imagine someone doing that intentionally to London, to New York, to Tokyo, during a crisis, during an election, during a war. Choke points of civilization. Want to break the internet? You don't need exotic cyber weapons. You need to know where to cut. Egypt. 16 major cables squeeze through the Red Sea and hop across Egypt to the Mediterranean. It's the most dangerous bottleneck on Earth. When cables break here, entire continents feel it. Telecom Egypt knows this. They charge hundreds of millions just to cross their land. It's digital extortion, and everyone pays because there's no alternative. The Strait of Malacca, the Luzon Strait near Taiwan, Singapore, Cornwall, Djibouti. Dozens of cables converge at each point. Cut them all, and you don't just disconnect countries, you disconnect economies. The industry's scrambling for alternatives. Google's Blue Raman cable takes a wild detour through Israel and Jordan just to avoid Egypt. Others purpose all ocean routes that dodge every choke point. But geography doesn't change. These bottlenecks will always exist, and everyone, governments, corporations, militaries, knows exactly where they are. The new Cold War. This isn't about technology anymore, it's about power. China's digital Silk Road isn't building cables, it's building dependence. Beijing wants 60% of the global fiber market. Every cable they lay in Africa, every connection they make in Asia is a future pressure point. The US killed a Google-Facebook cable to Hong Kong. Security risk, they said. Now cables route through Taiwan and the Philippines instead. Message received. Russia's building the Polar Express, a 12,650-kilometer Arctic cable where NATO submarines can't reach. Climate change opened the route. Moscow seized it. We're watching the physical internet split into spheres of influence. The EU wants digital sovereignty. European cables for European data. India mandates domestic control of strategic routes. The US reviews every cable landing like a weapons shipment. Everyone's building backup internets just in case the real one gets cut. The question. So, here's what should terrify you. 4 companies control most of the pipes. Every major government has the tools to listen. Any submarine can cut the cord, and the places where all these cables meet, everyone knows where they are. We built civilization on glass threads in the darkness, handed the map to corporations and spies, and hoped nobody would notice. Next time you send a message across the world, remember, it's not floating through clouds. It's racing through a hair-thin fiber at the bottom of the ocean, past listening posts, through choke points, around submarines. One cut, that's all it takes. The cloud is a lie, the internet lives underwater, and someone's always watching. If this changed how you see the internet, subscribe, because what I'm covering next makes this look like child's play. What scares you more? Big tech owning the ocean or someone cutting their cables? Comment below.